Hi, I'm KPRC2 meteorologist Caroline Brown. We're cutting in here on the stream to give an update on the current situation. We've got scattered showers and storms through southeast Texas, and I'm stepping out so you can see all three of those green boxes. Those are brand new aerial flood advisories. This is because we have seen a tremendous amount of rainfall. We're going to go through each one with you first. So let's show you what the radar looks like in motion, because these storms really not moving very quickly. I do want to say these are prefrontal storms. These are more like the streamer showers that we would expect to see in the summertime. So a closer look is going to show you activity-wise, a lot of this going to be to the south and to the west of Houston. So I want to start with the first aerial flood advisory that was issued. This is going to include a big portion of Fort Bend County, especially Sugar Land, Stephen F. Austin High School, Pecan Grove. This is a flood advisory in place through 12:30 this afternoon. That flood advisory is because we've seen 2 to 4 inches of rainfall here. More showers are possible. This means ponding on the road certainly not out of the question. We're also tracking another flood advisory that's going to be just to the south of Houston here, including Hobby Airport, Brookside Village. You can see all of that lightning around Hobby. I would not be surprised if we're starting to see any sort of delays at our south airport there. Brookside Village as well. This aerial flood advisory in place through 12:45. This just means if you don't have to be on the roads, we would not recommend it. It's certainly possible that we have ponding on the roads, low-lying area, feeder roads, really any trouble spots likely having a few issues at this time. And right now, this area still seeing some pretty heavy downpours. In fact, I want to take you much closer as we look towards Manville and Manville High School there, seeing some of those downpours, especially near Hastings. You can see that deep pink color here. That's going to be right around Fry Road and Bleacher as well. That pink color showing up, that is going to be a heavy downpour ongoing, blinding rainfall at times. And I'll tell you what, we have not seen a lot of rain. And so I think a lot of folks, this is going to be a big deal. Look at Pearland High School, seeing that downpour continuing to push through the region and up towards Humble, portions of Beltway 8, seeing those heavier downpours. South Houston, even the Gulf Freeway here being impacted. That's something we're continuing to monitor. We are going to go over every region with rain, but first I do want to turn my attention to that third and final aerial flood advisory that we are tracking. This one is going to include portions of the Katy Freeway. You can see Brookshire really smack dab in the middle here, Pattinson as well. This aerial flood advisory in place through 12:45 for portions of Waller County here. And that's because we've seen a lot of rainfall, and you can see rainfall continuing to come down. A closer look is going to show you Brookshire really seeing some heavy downpours. I expect to see some pretty significant delays right now on that I-10 East Freeway here, continuing down towards Orchard, Wallace, East Bernard. We're going to put this in motion so you can see how these storms are moving, because we haven't seen as much movement today, mainly because this is not our cold front. We're going to get more to that in just a bit. But you can see that line of storms does look like it's actually been decreasing in strength. I like to look at the colors, and I like to look at the lightning a lot when I'm talking about intensity. So when we look at the last hour, at its peak, we were seeing nearly 40 lightning strikes. The colors here were bright red, nearly purple. Now we're seeing significantly less lightning strikes, just a yellow color. But I'll tell you what, that doesn't say anything for that flood risk, because that is still going to be a concern. Now, we've talked a lot about these aerial flood advisories, but I haven't actually shown you any rainfall totals. So I want to show you some radar estimated rainfall totals. This is going to be coming from our radar out in League City. So we're going to flip this over. We're going to do over the last 3 hours. Pardon me. Some locations in Fort Bend County have seen just a bit more. All in all, though, 3 hours, pretty good representation of what could be causing problems on the road. Starting with Pearland, you can see exactly why they've put this flood advisory in place. Once again, Brookside Village up towards Hobby. This is going to be a flood advisory through 12:45. Radar estimate rainfall totals here going to be showing anywhere from 1.5 inches 1.5 to 2.5 inches. Certainly heavy enough to cause ponding on the roads. Any construction zones, that's going to be a big threat here as well. As we look closer towards Sugar Land, we're also monitoring this area because we did see some significant rainfall totals over towards Pecan Grove. Meteorologist Justin Stapleton was on all morning tracking it, and we saw over 3 inches of rainfall. This was no surprise when they issued this aerial flood advisory. In fact, if we do a few different areas, you can see around Stephen F. Austin High School estimating about 2 inches of rain. We do know from our Harris County flood warning system, Pecan Grove seeing nearly 3 inches, Sugar Land, Paynes, I mean, even outside of where you have that flood alert, First Colony still seeing about 1/2 inch of rainfall here. So a healthy soaking after we haven't seen really any rainfall, definitely going to be causing those issues on the roads. Finally, I want to show you a few rainfall numbers around Pattinson and Brookshire. This is going to be our final flood advisory in place through 12:45. I wouldn't be surprised if more are issued today, but where they've issued them certainly has made quite a bit of sense here. Rainfall accumulations right there along the freeway showing anywhere from 2 to 1.5 inches of rainfall. Brazos County showing there, Brazos Country, about 1.5 inches of rain. So quite a good soaking. You'll notice closer to the Houston metro, not seeing as much rainfall here. In fact, if you're inside the loop, you might not have seen any. Take a look at this. I live actually in this area, and no rainfall from Lamar High School all the way towards downtown, but you still have rain chances as we head into the afternoon. In fact, we're going to switch over to our national radar. That's because our cold front just starting to edge into our far edges of our viewing area here. U.S. radar is going to be showing you a broader look. You can see these are our streamer showers associated just with our gusty winds, our humid conditions. If we put this in motion, you can see this line of storms that's extending all the way in towards Texarkana. This is the cold front. In fact, if we pause this right now, I'll show you where that cold front is located. This is the front we've been tracking, and this is what's going to be pushing through as we go into the afternoon. Now, most of the storm activity with this is actually going to be further towards our north and to the east. We're not expecting really widespread severe weather here. An isolated storm can be heavy, frequent lightning strikes, not expecting anything severe, but you can see areas to our north and east, just to the south of Lufkin, that's what we call a special weather statement. The National Weather Service can issue this, and that's going to be indicating that this storm, while not severe, certainly going to be on the stronger side. So that's what we're monitoring through the day today. But right now, it's mainly just going to be those scattered heavy downpours. The biggest concern, I think, for us right now is going to be that flooding potential. Contrary to popular belief, when we haven't seen rainfall, it's actually going to be easier to flood. The ground can get so hard that it basically starts to act like concrete. You're not going to be seeping through the dirt quite as easily, and that can create bigger issues for flooding. So another look at our radar right now. I'm going to close that out, making it a little bit easier to see. We've got scattered showers across the region. You'll notice a little bit more widespread areas off towards the west here. In fact, becoming more widespread from Katy down towards Wharton, East Bernard, Rosenberg, certainly a soaking rainfall here. We're going to flip on lightning just to get a better picture of the intensity here. Even though it's not showing a lot of lightning, I'll tell you what, we haven't been driving in rainfall a lot, so I guarantee you portions of the Katy freeway here definitely going to be impacted. Continuing to zoom out, Belleville to Eagle Lake, also seeing those showers. I think this cell right here south around Hobby Airport is going to be a stronger one, but you'll notice the northern half where we did have that flood advisory really falling apart. This storm starting to divide and going further towards the south. So if we stop this, now most of the heavy downpours thankfully outside of that aerial flood advisory. That's what we want to see. This area needs a bit of time to drain, but that means Pearland High School down towards Hastings, Manville, Highway 6, definitely going to be seeing just heavy torrential downpours. That's going to be all along Allen Road, Masters Road, just to the west of Friendswood there. So I do want to show you our forecast as we head into the afternoon, because I've got good news for trick-or-treaters. This is not going to be an all-day event. It's mainly going to be now through the early afternoon. Once we get towards 5 o'clock, conditions are going to start to get better. I do want to say, we're not saying the rain is totally going away. We're saying our rain chances are decreasing. So a live look outside, conditions not looking too bad here. You'll notice temperature-wise, still going to be a bit on the warm side. Temperatures going to be in the upper 70s. Winds a lot less busy than what we've been seeing the last several days. We've been seeing wind gusts 25 miles per hour every single day this week. Today, that is not the case. It's just all about the rainfall. So additional rainfall as we head through the afternoon and even the next several days, potentially 1 to 2 inches here. But let's talk about what we can expect to see. So right now we're showing you that radar one more time. You can see we've got 3 different areas where we have flood advisories, and we're going to walk you through hour by hour what you can expect to see here across southeast Texas. So one moment here. Here we go. Actually, I want to start by showing you what it looks like in Pecan Grove, and then we're going to get to that future track there. A closer look is going to show areas just to the south of Orchard, 3.5 inches of rainfall. Satellite and radar showing with it that cold front producing those heavy thunderstorms towards Texarkana, up the Mississippi. This is going to be the region where we see severe weather, but here in southeast Texas, certainly possible that we could be seeing some heftier thunderstorms. So as we get towards the afternoon today, this is 12:45, that frontal boundary now starting to cut through our region, likely going to be at this point from Livingston down through Sealy and Columbus. Those storms continuing to dive their way towards the south and to the east. 4:15, we can still see a few of those thunderstorms. Not expecting to see as widespread of coverage. This means for trick-or-treaters at 6 o'clock, do know you could be seeing showers, but not for everybody. In fact, a lot of these showers are going to be isolated in nature. I think the closer to sunset you get, the less likely it is you're going to be seeing rainfall. Certainly by 8 o'clock, a lot of these showers going to be moving out of here. But it is possible to have a few remnant showers as we go through the overnight period. So as we take a look at our radar one final time, you can see we do have 3 separate aerial flood advisories that we're keeping our eye on. We're going to continue to monitor with rain chances possible every single day through the next week. You'll notice temperature wise, even though we're talking about a cold front, we're not anticipating any big cool down. That is until next week when our next major cold front's going to push through. That's going to bring our highs from the 80s to the 70s. And it looks like it's going to drop our lows down into the 50s. So this is your final look at that radar before we hop off here. Of course, we are monitoring this situation. The Storm Tracker 2 team is going to be bringing you updates through the day, both online and on air. Right now, we have 3 separate flood advisories. Thankfully, the heaviest of the rainfall no longer falling in the same locations as those flood advisories. This flood advisory for Sugar Land goes until 12:30. The one just north of Pearland and the one just to the west of Katy, that's going to be going until 12:45. So please be careful if you have to be on the roads out there, and hope that all the rainfall moves out for trick-or-treaters. Thanks for joining us for this KPRC2 live stream.